This is funny. This is great. Here's the Nazi bell. So this is supposedly some writing by some Nazi guy. Interesting, the dude's name that was involved in all this is Otto Cerny. Okay? So there, a movie I watched, it was a comedy. It was called Dr. Otto and the Riddle of the Gloom Beam. I covered that a long time ago. Here, watch how they dance around this shit. They were trying to generate a torsion field. That's true. What is a torsion field? Phosphorus from the Greek known as the lantern bearer. And in Roman mythology known as Satan. No, it wasn't. Because it says here, here's a second code name that is a giveaway, Kronos. You know what that means, don't you? Why are they using the word Satan here instead of Saturn? See, I mean, they've even gone to the length to call it Satan, but they refuse to call it Saturn. Look how they dance around this crap. Oh, they made it. They made a Nazi bell. That's the mini-me. It's a smaller version of Saturn. It's the bell. It works exactly the same. And it needs a fucking shitload of power. And CERN is just another version of this fucking bell thing. There's no doubt in my mind about that. It's interesting here because if you look, you can see the colors, the yellow and the purple. Again, the color codes don't lie. They can't lie because they're digital. It's binary. It has to print it the way it sees it. So this is from a website that's dealing with the Nazi bell. I didn't know that the bell was created by this Otto Cerny, but there is a movie with Jim Varney who played Ernest called Dr. Otto and the Riddle of the Gloom Beam. And what he was doing is he was sucking all the power out of everything. But here, it's just funny to me that they actually went out of the way to cover the name Satan or Saturn by calling it Satan. That's the first time I've ever seen that. And they even used the name Kronos over here. And then he still doesn't identify Kronos with Saturn. He just says in Roman mythology the lantern bearer was known as Satan. It was not. It was Saturn. And I don't ever remember being called Satan, Kronos, or whatever. Let me scroll up here. Cook wrote blah, 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 blah. You know, what they're trying to say is they were trying to make a time machine. Saturn is the time machine. Because it recreates history as it goes around. It plays the same shit over and over again, like a record player. I told you, the Vatican's got a fucking telescope pointed right at it. So they know when that thing gets to a certain point, certain shit's going to happen. Like listening to your favorite song. You know when the beat starts picking up. You know when it's going to slow down. There's parts of it you like. There's parts of it that aren't that exciting for you. But you know the song. They're looking right at it. They just made a mini-me version of it. So you've got Saturn, which is Dr. Evil, and you've got the Nazi bell, which is mini-me. That's exactly what was being portrayed in those Austin Powers movies. Austin Power. It's a name of something, not of a character. They're just portraying him as a character in a spoof, but the movie's supposed to teach you something. As silly as that sounds, it's the way it works. Austin Powers. I've got an Austin Mini Cooper. And it's funny because whenever you see pictures of those things, they always have some 369 or 963. It's because of the word Austin. Now, whatever Austin is, I haven't really researched it, but it's got something to do with it. So if you have an Austin Mini, it's a smaller version of a bigger Austin, whatever that is. Maybe an Austin is some type of an engine or something creates power. But Austin Powers is not Mike Myers. And Dr. Evil is Saturn, and Mini-Me is the fucking Nazi belt. I guarantee it. But again, funny that they would use the name Satan, because usually they stay away from that too. But they use that to cover for Saturn. That's really interesting to me.